I knew something was the matter. Mum and Dad kept having these arguments. They didn't shout or yell, they whispered in another room so we couldn't hear properly. Somehow the hissing sounds were worse, even though we couldn't make sense of the words. I woke up once and heard them downstairs in the kitchen. I looked at my watch. It was 2:30 in the morning. They always went to bed at 10:30 after the news. I usually heard them go to bed because I took ages to fall asleep. I couldn't sleep because I was having trouble at school. My best friend, Emily, was suddenly acting really weirdly. We'd been friends ever since we started in reception when we were 4.5. We were devoted to each other from the first day, when I made Emily a pink bead necklace and she made me a blue one. We used to wander around hand in hand and pretend we were sisters. We did look quite alike in those days, actually. Both of us a bit podgy, with fair plaits down to our shoulders and brown eyes. We liked doing exactly the same things too. We dressed up in our Disney princess costumes and drew pictures with the sky right up at the top and stick people floating above the grass and played elaborate imaginary games with our teddies. But now we were nearly 10. We were totally different. Emily's hair fell all the way to her waist, smooth and shining. Mine was curly and still wouldn't grow much past my shoulders. Emily wore tiny skirts and tight tops and sparkly shoes. I'd have liked to wear them too, but Mum said I looked better in my dungarees and canvas boots. Emily's felt tips had all dried up because she preferred playing on her iPad, but I still liked art. I drew lines of girls with their sparkly shoes firmly on the grass, and I gave them all names and made up stories about them. I didn't play with my teddies anymore, but I still acted out all sorts of imaginary dramas when I knew I could be strictly private. Emily went to a real drama school on Saturdays now, and gymnastics and ballet after school. I didn't want to go to gymnastics because I found it difficult even doing a forward roll. I tried ballet too, but if I'm honest, I was a bit rubbish at it and got stuck in the elementary class with the babies. Dad and I danced together to old rock music instead, and he said I did a mean jive. I did want to go to Emily's drama class, but Saturdays were family days. Mum went off to work before we got up on weekdays, and she generally didn't get home till I was in bed. But on Saturdays, we all went swimming at her gym and then went to Pizza Express and spent the afternoon going to the cinema or a museum or a stately house. It was especially good going with Dad. He'd act out scenes with the film with me afterwards, and he'd tell me stories about the things in the exhibition, and he'd show me around the stately house as if he was Lord Dad and I was his little lady. Mum and Dad and Perry and I still went on these family days, but nowadays my big sister Becks saw all her friends on Saturdays and hung out at the shopping centre instead. Perry didn't really want to come on family days either, but he didn't have many friends, and Mum and Dad said he was too young to stay at home by himself. I'd always had lots of friends, thank goodness, but Emily was always my best ever friend. Only now she seemed to have gone off me. We still sat next to each other at school, but we didn't whisper together or pass each other little notes. She was forever craning round to send a scribbled note or whisper to Kate. They went to the same gymnastic class, and now Kate had started ballet too. She went straight into the intermediate class because apparently the ballet teacher said she had natural talent. Emily and Kate started doing little dance routines together in the playground. I tried to join in at first. They didn't actually say anything horrid, but they kept looking at each other, their lips twitching, as if they were laughing at me. Emily and I still went home together. Dad and Emily's mum took it in turns to collect us in the car. But I found out Kate sometimes had a sleepover at Emily's house after gymnastics or ballet. Emily hadn't asked me to come for a sleepover for ages. "Well, we'll ask Emily to sleep over at ours," said Dad. So I did. But Emily just shrugged and looked awkward and said she wasn't really allowed to on school nights anymore, which was a downright lie. That wasn't the worst of it, though. I heard them whispering together in the playground, and Emily said to Kate, "If I tell you something awful about Phoebe, will you swear not to tell anyone else ever?"